historical narratives of four legendary conquerors: Alexander the Great, Julius Caesar, Genghis Khan, and Napoleon Bonaparte. Each of these iconic figures left their mark on the annals of history in distinct ways. Alexander the Great, driven by an insatiable thirst for conquest, wept not because he had conquered an expanse of 2 million square miles, but because he harbored aspirations of subduing the entire world. His unwavering commitment to conquest led him to lead his army into battle with an air of invincibility, even as the physical and emotional fatigue of his men grew palpable. This relentless pursuit of victory spanned a decade, and though his troops longed for reprieve and the luxuries they had acquired, Alexander's singular focus remained conquering new territories. His pinnacle of success was marred by a formidable adversary in India, King Porus, and it was in this battle that Alexander suffered significant losses. Despite being wounded and losing his horse, he urged his men on, but across the river, they faced another formidable Indian army, while they themselves were worn and weary. His troops implored him to conclude the campaign, but their appeals fell on deaf ears, marking the commencement of his downfall. Alexander's infamous drinking habits eventually led to a grave illness, and opportunistic generals vied for the future of his vast empire upon his death. He cryptically bequeathed it to the strongest, sparking a prolonged war among his generals that would splinter the Macedonian Empire. In contrast to the illusion of immortality surrounding Alexander, Gaius Julius Caesar, an unabashed admirer of the great, found himself overwhelmed by the seeming insignificance of his own achievements. He wept as he read about Alexander's feats, lamenting that he had not achieved the same level of success at his age. Caesar, inspired by Alexander's legacy, grew self-obsessed and narcissistic. As he ascended to significant power as a general and statesman, he dismantled the Roman Republican system and declared himself dictator perpetuo, a dictator in perpetuity. His unapologetic pursuit of absolute power, as evidenced by the Declaration, drew the ire of Roman senators who feared the establishment of a monarchy that would undermine their authority. On the Ides of March in 44 BC, a group of 60 senators assassinated Caesar during a Senate meeting, each stabbing him 23 times, a grisly testament to their love for him. Among the assailants, Caesar's last gaze fell upon his own adopted son and trusted ally, Marcus Brutus. Amid the backdrop of medieval history, largely dominated by the Crusaders, Genghis Khan emerged as the formidable figure known as the Beast of the East. His conquests spanned twice the territory of Alexander's, as he relentlessly pursued the goal of uniting the world under a single banner. Unlike Alexander or Caesar, Genghis Khan harbored no delusions of divinity or messianic calling. He openly acknowledged his tyrannical disposition. His words captured the essence of his approach to warfare, seeking the greatest happiness in vanquishing enemies, reducing their cities to ashes, and bringing sorrow to those who loved them. Several accounts surround the circumstances of his death, including death from the bubonic plague, an assassination attempt while on horseback, and a fatal castration allegedly inflicted by a princess from the Western Sia Empire who had been forcibly kept as a concubine. The lack of a well-documented account of his death was by design, as Genghis Khan had instructed his family and followers to maintain secrecy. At the time of his death, the Mongols were on the precipice of realizing their 20-year-long ambition to conquer the Western Shia Empire. This objective took precedence even over Genghis Khan's grand funeral, which was shrouded in secrecy. His followers took extreme measures to maintain this secrecy, including slaughtering anyone encountered along the route of his funeral procession. Fast-forwarding 5 centuries, Napoleon Bonaparte, a military genius, ascended to greatness during a time when the transition from swords and spears to artillery had transformed the face of warfare. Napoleon's insatiable ambition transcended his own personality, as he considered himself an artist of war. He loved power, but his passion for it was akin to the passion of an artist crafting a masterpiece. His unparalleled concentration and prodigious memory enabled him to hold intricate details and facts in his mind with exceptional precision. His victories swept across parts of Europe and the Mediterranean region, with his armies moving with swiftness and power. Nevertheless, the escalating stakes, Mounting death tolls and blood-soaked battles eventually culminated in his defeat at the Battle of Waterloo in 1815, leading to his capture by British forces. Unlike other conquerors, Napoleon was not sentenced to death, as the British sought to prevent him from becoming a martyr. Instead, he was placed under house arrest with a select few of his followers in a dilapidated bungalow. Isolation and loneliness over the years took their toll on him, and he finally passed away on May 5, 1821, making a final confession in which he expressed his deep attachment to France, the army, and his wife, Josephine. These four great conquerors met their ends through diverse circumstances, but they all shared an unquenchable thirst for conquest and a longing for more. One succumbed to sudden illness, another fell victim to an assassination by his own men, an arrow felled a third, and the final one died in captivity. Despite the differing circumstances of their departures, the common thread uniting them was their unrelenting desire for more.